Hi everyone, today I am here to bring you a core focus reformer jump board workout. As far as equipment goes for this class, what you'll need is a reformer, a jump board, and also your box. As always, feel free to modify those springs as necessary and adjust the workout for how you're feeling today. When you're ready, gather your equipment because this workout starts now. All right guys, so I'm all set up. I have my headrest up, I have my jump board on, and today we're gonna start with no springs on the carriage. So carefully reach down, take any springs that are on off, and then slide the carriage out a bit. Carefully bring your feet into the well of the reformer and slide your hips forward so you have a little distance between the springs and the backs of the calves. Sit up nice and tall. My feet are about sit bone distance apart here, just a nice comfortable distance. And then float your hands up in front of the shoulders. Lengthen the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Your sit bones are pointing straight down into the carriage underneath you, and widen the collarbones. Take a breath, inhale, and then as you exhale, round the low back and pull the carriage forward towards the jump board slightly. And then when you're ready, inhale and lengthen the tailbone back down towards the springs. Take a breath, inhale, exhale, round the spine. And then sit up nice and tall again. Let's do 4 more just like that. Upper arms are just parallel to the floor. Exhale 3, deepening that connection to the abdominals. And 2. On this last one, you're gonna stay down, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone under. Come down as low as you can comfortably. Turn your palms in to face each other. From here, float one arm up to the ceiling, maintaining that lumbar flexion, and then lower that arm down, and then switch to the other side. Up and under, up. Good. If you need to come up to the toes here as opposed to having the heels down, that's okay. You've got 4 more. And 3, and 2, and 1. Both arms forward, turn the palms down, roll the spine all the way up to seated. Take a breath, inhale, exhale, tuck the tailbone under and roll back again. Turn the palms to face each other, widen your arms out to the sides, and bring your arms in. As the arms widen, deepen that lumbar flexion. Last 4 here. And 3, last 2, and 1 more time. Bring those hands forward, turn the palms down, roll all the way up. 1 more round. Take a breath, inhale, get taller. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under, roll the spine about halfway back. Turn the palms to face each other, interlace your fingers. From here, exhale and rotate to one side. Inhale back through the middle. Exhale, rotate the other way. Inhale back through the middle. I'm putting a little outward pressure between my fingers so that I can feel my back body start to wake up. Last 4, and 3, last 2, and 1 more time. Nice. Come back center, release the fingers, palms down, roll all the way up. Scoot your tailbone even further forward. From here, we're gonna lay all the way down on our back, arms forward, take your spine all the way down, hands behind the head here. If you need to adjust yourself further away from your shoulder blocks, please do so. Keep your heels lifted off of the floor. Inhale, press the carriage out, lower your head, neck, and chest down a little bit more. Exhale as you pull the carriage forward, curl up into abdominal flexion. Inhale, lower a bit. Exhale, pull yourself forward and curl. Let's do 4 more. Last 2. 1 more time. Pull yourself in so your knees are basically over your ankles. Bring one knee into tabletop. Press the carriage out again, lower the torso down. Exhale, curl the head, neck, and chest up and pull yourself forward. Let's do 4 more there. Last 2. And and 1. Same exercise, but now we're adding rotation towards our lifted knee as we pull closer towards that jump board. We'll do 4 more here. The last 2, nice and smooth movement. And 1 more time. Come back center, switch out your feet. Come straight up through the middle as you pull the carriage closer towards the jump board. We'll do 3 more here before adding rotation. Now I'm not coming forward too far. It's a pretty small movement through my upper body, but I can really feel my core activating. Last 2 and 1. And now add that rotation to the lifted knee side. And 3 more here. And 1. Bring your head down. I'm going to scooch myself back up towards my shoulder blocks a little bit higher, arms down by the sides. Carefully bring one knee into tabletop and then the other knee into tabletop. You can have your hands on the wooden side rails to stabilize the carriage here, and then we're just going to do toe taps forward towards the floor. The toe by no means has to touch the floor completely, but you're reaching down, keeping the knee bent at about 90 degrees, focusing on softening the front of the ribs down towards the hips, keeping the knees in a line with those hips as well. Good for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both knees into tabletop. Inner thighs together. I am grabbing onto my side rails here. From here, inhale your knees over to one side. Extend both legs. Bring the legs back center and bend the knees. Other way. Keep alternating sides. So we keep the knees bent, then we extend them, bring them back center and bend them. Over, extend, center, and bend. 1 more each way. The last time. Very nice job. Okay, feet down on the floor. Walk yourself back closer to your board. Bring your hands up above your shoulders. Now this is quite the challenge. Take a breath, inhale, and then exhale. Take your gaze forward to the board and see if you can just roll yourself all the way up to seated. Very nice. Slide yourself back so you have enough of your tush on that carriage to feel nice and safe. And then we're gonna slide our feet off to the side so we can add some spring onto this board. I'm gonna start, with just one heavy spring. We are gonna lay back down again. Arms hovering down by the side of the carriage, toes to the top of the jump board. Let's start with our legs completely straight, lifting up onto the toes and then lowering the heels. Lifting up onto the toes and lowering the heels. As I lower my heels down, I'm flexing my toes back towards my shins just to warm up those ankles a little bit. Legs are parallel to one another, and my core is still working to stabilize my body with the hands floating. Let's do 4, 3, 2. You're going to keep your legs fairly straight and do just a little straight leg jump, warming up those feet. 8, 7, 6. Deeply brace that core for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way in. Bring your heels together into Pilates V. Straighten your legs again. Keep the heels together as you lift those heels up nice and high, coming up onto the toes, and then lower the heels down. Again, the hands can be floating here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Zip up those inner thighs. Do a few straight leg jumps, just articulating through the feet. 8, 7, 6, 5, this can feel a little strange. 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way in. Bring your feet together, inner thighs together. Float those arms. Bend your knees and start your regular jumps. Engaging through the quadriceps, really pulling the quadriceps up off of the knees. And then as you jump, float those arms higher. Nice. Let's do 5 more like this. Keep jumping. Bring your legs into Pilates V, so heels together, toes apart. Bring your arms down by your sides and turn your palms in towards your body. Now your arms are going to go out to the sides as you jump. Zipping up the inner thighs, keeping those heels squeezed together as you go. For 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Bring your legs back parallel to one another. Keep on jumping. Float your head, neck, and chest up. Float your arms and land. Float, float. For 4. Last one, keep jumping. Turn your feet into Pilates V. Bring your arms down by your sides. Float your arms out to the sides as you jump. For 8. Last 4. Last 2. And 1. Take a little rest. Pause. We're going to do a little bit of single leg jumping. Make sure you have a little space between your shoulders and your shoulder blocks. Choose a leg to jump on. The other knee is just going to hang out in tabletop here, knee above the hip, shin parallel to the floor, arms floating by the sides. Your knee and your toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. And then again, start that arm float with the head down. Nice. 4 more like this, and then we're going to hold the arms up above the shoulders and keep jumping. Hold those arms up, keep the jump coming. As you jump, add your head, neck, and chest. Lift. Exhale. Exhale. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep going. Hands up above the shoulders. And now bring your arms down to your outer right leg, or the outside of the knee that's lifted. Those arms are going to sweep that direction. Rotating through the waist. Fully extending that jumping leg. Really push off the board. For 8, 7, 6. It's almost like you're throwing something from over your shoulder and then across the body. 3, 2, and 1. Take a moment, land, rest the head, look over one shoulder, the other shoulder. We are going to repeat that. I know it's a little bit neck heavy, so bear with it. Other side. Leg extends. Float the arms by the sides. Head can stay down. Float the arms. As you jump, 4 more like this, and then we'll hold those hands up above the shoulders. Last one, hold those arms up. Nice. As you jump, curl the head, neck, and chest forward, arms go down. When your gaze is forward, take note of your alignment of your hips to your knees to your ankles, to your toes. Last 4 like this, and then we'll add our rotation towards our lifted knee. Add that rotation when you're ready. Twist the waist. Twist. For 5, 4, last 2, and 1. Woo, rest everything down. Beautiful. Prop yourself up. We're going to get our box and place it on. So grab your short box, place it on in front of your shoulder blocks, make sure that it is nice and secure there. and then bring your butt up onto it. I'm gonna stay on this one heavy spring. Bring your tush very far forward on the box, tuck your tailbone under and round the spine, and then bring your hands to the back edge, back corners of the box. Collarbones are wide here, shoulders are back and down. Bring your toes onto the top of the board in Pilates V. Extend and bend the legs. Heels stay together. You might stay here. You might add a little bit of arm movement. Nice. Or you might jump. So if you're coming with me and jumping, your spine is rounded the whole time. You're going to take a little light floaty jump off of the board. Heels stay squeezing together. Nice. This series is not very long, so give every repetition all you've got. Really zip up the backs of the inner thighs. Keep that lower back in flexion for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now separate your feet a little bit. You're going to jump and cross the ankles. Jump and cross the ankles. Inner thighs. Inner thighs. For 8, 7. After these last 4, we're going to sit up for a moment. Last 2 and 1. Land. Sit all the way up. Take your feet down. Just take a little twist over one shoulder and then over the other shoulder. We are going to do one more round, so bring that tailbone very far forward. Tuck the tailbone under, bring your hands back to that same position. Bring all 10 toes onto the jump board in Pilates V. Bring one foot above the jump board slightly. Take a jump on that single leg. Now the lifted leg, the one that's above the board, is going to go out to the side and back in as you jump. It's not a big movement. I want your pelvis to stay centered. You're still working that inner thigh and the core. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both heels down. Transition to your other leg. Sweep it slightly out to the side and in. Out to the side and in. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, land. Sit all the way up. We're going to remove that box. Do just a little bit of back extension. We've done a lot of flexion. So come to kneeling. Feet against the shoulder blocks, hands on top of the jump board. If this feels too high, you could always bring your hands wider onto the outside edges of the foot bar. I feel good here though. Tuck your tailbone under, press your pelvis forward, make sure your feet are grounded against your shoulder blocks. Squeeze your glutes a little bit and draw your low belly up and in. From here, inhale the carriage out. Exhale, pull yourself up and forward, lengthening that crown of the head up towards the ceiling. We'll do 3 more. And 1. Come all the way in. Reach one arm up and back behind you. If you can grab onto your heel or the shoulder block, do so. Other arm can come up. Just a big, big, nice back extension. Come on back up to center, other side. Reach up and over if it feels comfortable for you. Big stretch. And come back center. I'm going to change to one medium spring here. For me, that's a blue. And then bringing your feet and your inner thighs together on the center of the carriage with your knees pretty close to the front edge of the carriage. I'm going to bring my hands forward on the jump board. Hinge your upper body forward quite far. Your hips are just hovered over your heels so that your lower body is engaged. We're just going to straighten and bend the elbows a few times. Now for me, I like to have my torso on a little upward diagonal. You could also be further forward. It's just not as comfortable for my back. My fingertips are pointing slightly in towards one another, and elbows are going down and out to 5 and 7 o'clock. When you're ready, add a little jump off that board. Squeeze your tush. Keep your hips hovered over your heels. Spine is long. Good. Now start to turn your fingertips a little more up towards the ceiling. And as you jump, you're going to give it a little more gusto in your jump. So you can press your hips forward and then land. Press, land, press, land. Little squeeze of the tush, land. You're opening up the front of the hips, coming into that hip extension. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and one more time. Rest for a moment. Sit your hips back towards your heels. So we will do one more round. Knees a little wider this time, toes still together. We're going to start those jumps again with the upper body. Lean forward. This time around, after you start your jumps, we'll end up going to a chest opener here as you jump. Hover your hips over your heels to begin. Start your jumps without that chest opener. Then when you're ready, propel those hips forward. Get used to this motion with the knees wider. Can feel a little different. And then when you're ready, if you'd like to add on, open that chest and land. Open that chest and land. For 8, 7, you're squeezing that tush, pressing the pelvis forward. For 4, 3, and 1. Land. Softly come in and turn sideways. Come into a Z position like you would for mermaid. One shin against the shoulder blocks or close to it. The other shin parallel to the front of the carriage. I'm still on that one medium spring. My inside hand is on my board. My outside hand is extended out to the sides. Do your best to anchor both sides of the pelvis down equally. From here, extend and bend your elbow. Nice. Make sure the spring feels comfortable for your wrist. If you don't want to jump here, you can just purely extend and bend, working on keeping your body as upright in space as possible. If you'd like to, add a jump. Press. For me, it's most comfortable for my fingers to land on top of the board. If your fingertips are a little lower than that, that is fine as well. Feel your obliques helping you stay nice and lifted out of your waist. Nice. When you're ready, your other arm is going to go up to the ceiling. And then we're going to do a little lateral flexion as we jump. May not be big, that's okay. Let's do 4. And 3, last 2, and one more time. Rest. Turn your knees up towards the ceiling, towards the shoulder blocks. Rotate around in so that you're seated on your other Z-sit position. One hand on the board, other arm out to the side. Anchor both sides of the pelvis as equally down as possible. And then when you're ready, start to extend and bend that arm. Good. If you'd like to add that jump, feel free to add that jump when you're ready. Sit up nice and tall here. So not only are you working those obliques, but also the shoulders and the lats and a little tricep. For 4. Last 2. And 1. Other arm comes up to the ceiling. Add a little bit of lateral flexion as you jump. Work hard at it. For 4, Last 2, and 1. Rest. Turn your feet back forward towards the jump board. Let's lay down one more time. Headrest can be up, but you want to be scooched away from your shoulder blocks just a little bit so you can jump with your head lifted. Bring all 10 toes on that jump board. We are parallel with the feet right now. Inner thighs are together, toes are at the top of the board. Bend your knees, take a jump. Nice, now we're gonna split the legs out to the side and land, out to the side and land. Let's do 4 more with the hands behind the head, and then you're gonna reach your hands to the ceiling, keeping that torso lifted. Hands up. As you split the legs, reach those hands further forward. If you want to have your hands touching each other, feel free. Exhale 4. Exhale 3. And 1. Go back to your jumps, regular jumps, hands behind the head, inner thighs together. Turn your toes and your knees to one side. Every time you jump, you're going to switch those knees to the other side. So it's a little bunny hop or ski jump. Make that rotation from side to side happen at the waistline. Nice. 4 more. 3 more. Now angle your knees to one side and keep jumping on that side. So if your knees are pointing to the left, your right arm is going to reach up to the ceiling. And as you jump, you're going to pull those knees in and tap that ankle. Nice. 8, 7, last 4. And 1. Come back to center. Angle your knees the other direction. Opposite hand, the way the knees are going is lifted. Draw those knees into the chest as you jump. Tap the ankle. Shoulders are still centered. We've got 8. Inner thighs squeezing. 7. Last 4. Last 2. And 1. Come in and land. Prop yourself up. I am going to change to my heavy spring one more time. You might want to stay on your light. I just prefer a little more support for this exercise. So, hands on the top of your board. Carefully come up to standing on the carriage. Bring your heels up onto your shoulder blocks, up into a pike. So hips are high, head is low. This should feel pretty good. And then when you're ready, bring your shoulders forward over the jump board, press the carriage out into your plank, and then pull yourself back in and bring the hips back. So it's a brief plank. Nice. Let's do 3 more here. Keeping those abdominals lifted as you transition. Last time, pike those hips up. Drop your heels back towards your shoulder blocks. From here, one of your feet is going to come forward onto your outside rail. If you don't have a wide outside rail, you might have to adjust yourself down to the floor here. Then you're just going to press yourself out into a lunge and stretch out the front of your hip flexor. Nice. Stay here for a few moments. Bring the carriage in. Come back to your pike. Bring the other foot forward to the outside rail. Come back down into your lunge. For me, it feels good if I just shift the carriage forward and back slightly. Or you can stay completely still. One more time, pull the carriage in, back into your pike. Other foot comes forward, find your lunge. Last time through on the other side, carriage comes in, back into your pike, switch out your feet and come down into your lunge. Good. Bring the carriage in, bring your feet down onto the carriage, and then carefully have a seat. And you're all done. I hope you liked that quick little jump board flow. Please leave me a comment or a question down below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you'd like to see next. As always, subscribing and sharing helps me bring more content to you. I so much appreciate that. And thank you again. I'll see you later, guys. Bye.